What's happening? This is the Blue Review. Okay, let's check out what people have to say. We're going to get into the pen. We're going to get into Julio Urias. We're going to get into Cody Bellinger. But I want to read what you guys have to say. Oh, yeah, give me that sweet feeling. Who's got that sweet feeling? I know I do. Woo! Taking out the Braves in 3. Very, very happy with that. What's going on? I am Greg Bergman. This is the Blue Review. You can find me on Twitter, on Instagram, at Bergman Greg, Bergman Greg, and I'm very happy to be here with you guys. It's been a week, and now, just so we are understanding, I'm going to be here every single Wednesday for right now. Every single Wednesday, I'll be in studio. You can see everything around me that I'm in the studio. I will be here every Wednesday, not doing Sundays right now, just because Sundays are crazy. It's time with my family. We have, Mother's Day, got Father's Day. There's all these trips coming up. But I will be doing more as we get later on into the season. When it gets into August, September, pushing for the playoffs, I'm going to start doing a little bit more games here and there to be here more often. But by the time we get into the playoffs, because I got that playoff feeling, even though it's early, got that playoff feeling, it's going to be I will be doing every single game in the playoffs. But right now, the Dodgers are now 25-14 after sweeping the Braves, 11 games above 500. And as we love to start off, because this is the show about the people, we read what the people want to say. And let's start over here on Instagram. It says Andy Dan 29, Dodgers are clicking on all cylinders. Don't you love saying that? Doesn't it feel good to be in LA and be saying the Dodgers are clicking on all cylinders? Oh, it makes me so happy. I love saying those words. Over here on Facebook, I got Joe Kelly getting it done. Matthew Schenk, by the way, 11 pitches for Joe Kelly. Perfect situation for him. Top of the ninth in a 9-4 game. Very low stress situation. 11 pitches, in and out, bang, bang, gone. Done. Perfect. That's exactly the type of situation you want for Joe Kelly to have a little bit more confidence moving somewhere else. Moises Garcia says, why can't the Lakers be smart like the Dodgers? That's a great question. I know I'm going to get a ton of questions about the Lakers. Let's try and keep this Dodger-centric, but I will throw in a couple answers that come to the Lakers as we go along. Jonathan Watson, thank God for the Dodgers because being a Lakers is stressful. Matthew Schenk, how good would we be with a typical Seager? Very, very good. I got the brooms from Brandon Piley. Always love seeing that. What up, Berg from El Coraza? What's up, man? Dash __ O, which I don't understand why you have the double underscore there, but it's there's a lag on Twitter. Oh, I'm sorry that there's a lag on Twitter. That's always a problem, but hopefully that'll start catching up to it soon. Black Sunday 5150, not Dodger related, but please keep Sedano. Nah, blah blah blah. He's great. No, he's not fake at all. Sedano is one of my better friends in the business, so no, please do not be going there. What is this? Got it. Some chat update, crazy thing. Here we go. Nick Molina 3, looking like the 2017 Dodgers. Now that's interesting. With the 2017 Dodgers, I went back and I looked. The 2017 Dodgers at this point of the year, we're 4 games above 500. So on May 9th? May 9th, the Dodgers were 4 games, 8th? What is it? Yes, the 8th. May 8th, Dodgers were 3 or 4 games above 500. The Dodgers are 11 games above 500 right now. On May 8th last year, in 2018, the Dodgers were 4 games below 500. They ended up being about a little bit later. They ended up being 10 games under 500 just a few days, or just in about, I think, another 10 days from now. So let's just start looking at all this stuff here. 11 games above 500 in 2019. Last year they were 4 games below. The 2017 when they went to the World Series, both those years, 4 games above 500. So it doesn't really make all that much difference this early, but being 11 games above 500 now is a huge, huge deal. Very happy with that. Over on Instagram, Caustic187. No panic yet, but how long till you think Seager looks more like himself? You got to give him at least another month. It's going to take a little while. He's coming off multiple surgeries. There's a whole bunch. He's just not quite there yet. All right, and before I go any further and start reading all of your comments, because I know a lot of you are here, I want to make sure that I get my topics in, because I do a quick, about 5-10 minutes just of my stuff early on, so that we understand, so we get my stuff out, and then we get everything that you want to talk about. So stick around, listen to my analysis, a little bit about the game itself, and then we'll start getting into more of your stuff. All right, the best way to start, and the only way to really start this, is sweep. Oh, I love saying it. Don't you love saying it? That's the 4th Dodger sweep of the year right now, by the way. Sweep, that's the 4th, and now, oh, it feels so good, and especially against Mike Foltynewicz and pitching the pitching for the Braves. I know they're kind of starting off the year kind of slow, but they're still the Braves that you saw in the ALDS last year, and played pretty decently for that early on, and being a year early. This is where they're supposed to be now. I'm going to turn off that so we don't hear noises there, but now this is this great to get a good team like that, an NL East team that is supposed to be vying for that NL East crown. Get these wins out of the way early, because we're going to have to play them a few more times, either 3 or 4 more times in the year. You get that sweep now, it looks way, way better down the line. Just like, think about it with Milwaukee. You played all 7 games against Milwaukee early on in the year and won the season series. Now, if you don't think that down the line, when it comes down to playoff seeding, if it's tight, to be able to get that home field advantage because you won the 7-game series, it's a big deal. So to do this again, to get these wins early against teams outside of the division, always, always very helpful. Kershaw. And now I put the little talking face next to Kershaw here because I thought that was important. Because think about it. Because I love watching whenever he has a big K, like you think he had one in the bottom of the 6th inning, he had a huge K, and he just lets out that scream, just ah! You know, there's nothing better than a Kershaw scream, because it just shows the type of passion that he has. Now, is he the regular Kershaw that we're used to seeing? No, he's not that guy just yet. I mean, he's been pitching very well. Look, he gave up 4 earned runs today. One of them was given up because Scott Alexander gave up a hit that scored a run off of him. But still, he's giving up the home runs at a regular pace again. He's still in that lower 9, but he's getting that first pitch strike, which is the most important. And really, the curveballs looked really good. Ronald Acuna Jr. had just a great swing on a very good curveball pitch from Kershaw. So if we can this is the type of thing that you're going to see out of him. Normally, he doesn't give up jacks off of a curveball. So I think that's only the 3rd time in his career he's given up a home run off a curveball. I don't have that number down, or that number exact, but I believe it's around 3. So that's not a normal thing to happen. So Acuna just sitting, waiting on the curveball, guessed right, and just got a very good swing on a pitch that normally gets guys to swing and miss. So you got to give it up for Acuna Jr. there. So really, this wasn't a great Kershaw outing, but it was enough to get the win, and that's the biggest thing, and that's what matters. Now, Cody Bellinger is kind of interesting to me. He had that outrageous April, and there was no way that he was going to keep up that pace. It was just too big. There's no way that he was going to be able to have that much of a pace of being over 400 for the entire year, and having this gigantic OPS and on base almost every single at bat, and whatever it was, it just was not going to stick. But I wasn't expecting it to be basically as drastic as it has been. He's still getting on base. He walked a couple times today, but his strikeout to walk ratio has really kind of taken a hit since May. Now, he does have the shoulder injury where he was, like, it's a sore shoulder. He sat out 2 games over the weekend on Saturday and Sunday to kind of give that some rest. But I don't know if he's perfect just yet, but he's still swinging at pitches that he wasn't swinging at early in the year. And people are going to start just to understand the way that he hits and kind of pitch to him in different ways, because they're not obviously what wasn't working at the beginning of the year. They have more tape on him. They're going to be able to look for the zones that he's not hitting as well. And now he's striking out way more. He's not really walking right now, and that's kind of the biggest issue that I'm seeing with him. He is swinging at pitches, he's striking out more. So that's a little bit of a dip that's happened, and it seems like it happened as soon as May started. Once May started, all of a sudden it kind of just dropped off, where he only has a couple hits. Now, those couple hits are doubles, so, you know, at least when he does get on base, when he does get a swing on a pitch, he's still hitting the ball hard, and he's finding gaps here and there. They're just not falling like they were early in the season. So I'm not worried about him. He was never going to hit 430. I expect him to still be around, 330 to 350. I think that's a pretty good spot for him to be, and I think that's about where he's going to be. He's going to drop off, but he's still the heart and soul of this team right now because of how well he has been playing and how well he's going to be playing moving forward. And now Alex Verdugo, and I have it on here, Alex Verdugo, Rookie of the Year. It's early, all right? But this guy, Alex Verdugo, to me, is a Rookie of the Year candidate, and it's not close. It's him, it's Pete Alonso, it's Chris Paddock. There's other guys that are going to be involved in this. It's going to matter who's going to sustain throughout the year. Now, Pete Alonso is on this huge stretch right now early on, and that's normal, and guys get really hot leading up to things. But he's got 11 home runs. He's got like 38 RBIs. He's got a 900 plus OPS. He's doing very well. He's especially for the Mets. He's getting late inning home runs to give them the lead. Playing great. He was the MVP. He was the Rookie of the month for a reason. Alex Verdugo, on the other hand, has some of his in less at bats, about almost half the at bats that Pete Alonso has. He's still just hitting nonstop, and a lot of them are singles, doubles. He's just getting on base and being a professional hitter early on, and that's kind of what you want from him. If he's going to hit me 330 all year long, that's fantastic for Verdugo, and if he does that, if he stays consistent throughout the year, he's going to be there at the end of the year for the Rookie of the Year. And I know people were asking about whether or not he could be Rookie of the Year or not. I say yes. He absolutely can be, because he's been that good. All right, so that's going to be enough for me and my stuff. The first thing that I do want to talk about, though, is this shirt. And check this bad boy out. This says Los Angeles Sangre Azul, which is Bleed Blue or Blue Blood. So yeah, this you can get this shirt at Bleed Los. You can find it on Instagram and Twitter at Bleed Los, BLEEDLOS, and you can get one of these shirts. They fit. These are perfect. This is a large. It is to fit. I've washed them a couple times, and they still fit perfectly. And they're just great shirts. I got one that has the belly bomb with showing his muscle. I got a Justin Turner one, which is a really badass one. It's just his face and it looks really good. And there's a whole bunch of other stuff that I did. Go to @BleedLos on Instagram. You can see everything just right on their wall, and go ahead and just order from them right now. This is great stuff, and I love these shirts. So that's my thing about this shirt right now. All right, now this is a show about the people, by the people, for the people, and I want to talk about what you guys want to talk about. So we're going to go into all your topics. I'm going to talk about, I put my Facebook on another screen to my right. So if you see me turn my head, it's because I'm looking and reading the Facebook and Twitch streams over there. It's just easier when I have multiple computers. Otherwise, I got it all on this one computer, and it's kind of weird, and we don't want to do that. Jermaine Armenta says, LAFC. Yeah, this is my LAFC hat, which I just love. It's LA. It's a cool black and gold. I'm just a big fan of it. And I only have 2 LA Dodger hats, and I don't want to keep wearing them over and over again. So I'm going to be switching up hats. Hey, if you are a hat company or you know somebody with a hat company that wants to help me out, I love hats. I wear them all the time, almost every day. Ruben Moreno, Turner is on fire. Absolutely, Turner is on fire. That was 3 home runs yesterday and another one today. That's 4 home runs in his last 2 games. So here's the thing with Justin Turner. In the month of April, he has gotten 3 home runs, period. 3. That's it. 3 home runs in his career in April. 11, actually now 12 in the month of May. Something about that first month, he is just not the same. Doesn't have the power early on. It takes a little while to get up there. And right now, the power is back. You're starting to see the Red Turner's back. West Coast Yinzer 2.0 says Red Turner's back. Absolutely. This is what we're going to see for the rest of the year. He is going to be a consistent 300 hitter, barring any kind of health issues. And that is exactly who he's going to be. And I'm very, very happy with it. Most Steph won. Somebody get this man some hats. That's what I'm saying. Thank you, Mo Steph. That's what I love to hear. Brandon Biley, he generally gets burned on that slider. If you're talking about, I'm assuming that you're talking about Kershaw, and that's usually when but the pitch to Acuna Jr. was a curveball, and that's when he got hit on that, which is not normal. All right, going back over to the ESPN LA Periscope. What's that hat you're wearing, Julian? I already told you that was the LAFC hat. Desert Doyer says, Verdugo has won me over. Wasn't too impressed, but really has changed my mind about him, as he should. Look, we didn't have that much time to really see what he can do. They didn't give him a lot of playing time last year because really he didn't fully deserve it. He was blocked in the outfield. There was just too many guys that can play the outfield that deserve more time over him. Now, with A.J. Pollock being injured, this is the time when he is going to start getting when he has his time to show you what he can do. You did not trade Alex Verdugo for a guy like JT Realmuto or for Corey Kluber or whoever it was that was going to be coming, Trevor Bauer. They were all, obviously, these were never fully set deals, but the idea was that everybody was asking for Verdugo. I trust Andrew Friedman. I trust this front office to make the right decision. If they say, don't trade Alex Verdugo because we believe in him, then this was the right decision to make. And so we're seeing what's going to happen with all of that. Do you have a P.O. box so I can send you a custom hat or two? Hey, West Coast Ranger, send me a DM and I'll be able to give you a good address to send all that stuff in. And I appreciate that, man. That's awesome. And I knew, look, this is always one of my favorite ones. If you ever listen to the Mason Ireland show, Michael Thompson comes into the studio all the time, and I really want, and he says, oh, he doesn't want me here. He doesn't want me here. I love Michael, and I love him in there for 2 segments because he's great and he says everything that you want him to say. Rob Olson on the Periscope says, Michael Thompson hater. I am not a Michael Thompson hater. I love Michael Thompson, but let me just quickly kind of explain to you what happens with Michael Thompson and why I ask him to only do 2 segments. Oh, I lost that. That was weird. Michael Thompson comes into the studio. Him and John Ireland start talking about things that don't matter to LA really that much. They start talking about, like a Toronto-Milwaukee, or they'll talk about, a series that in NBA that we're not really worried about, whether it's like a Memphis versus Portland game and everyone's like, I don't care about that game. That doesn't mean anything to us here in LA. Or what happens is he doesn't break. He doesn't wear his headphones. He puts the headphones next to him so he can hear, but he doesn't break on time. So when he doesn't break on time and we go 3-4 minutes past the break, we have to then double up that break, and then instead of having a 4-minute commercial, you get an 8-minute commercial. When you have those 8-minute commercials, you get mad at me saying, how can we have so many commercials? You know why we have all those commercials? Because Michael Thompson refuses to follow the clock. And that's your quick explanation. But I love him. So don't ever say that I'm not a fan of Michael Thompson, because he is the greatest of all time. And especially if you're going to follow anybody on Twitter, Michael Thompson is the guy to follow on Twitter. Steve-O Tattooed, we love to hear about Lifetime movies in WWE. See, there you go. That's exactly. Is that what you want to hear about? Sure. All about it. Pontificating PhD, Michael goes off the rails and talks nonstop. Thank you. All right. See, we're all starting to understand what's happening. Rob and Yeezy saying the same thing. No, I'm not kicking anybody off, but that's basically what happens in those situations. Let me check it over here on Twitch. That's all good there. All right, El Carraza 1. Berg, I hate Michael. No, that's not true. Shane K. Lee, positive outing for Joe Kelly. Yes, it absolutely was. His pitches looked good. Verdugo for Rookie of the Year. Floro has been awesome. Can we talk about Dylan Floro for just a second right now? Every time this man comes in to a game, especially at the beginning, and really a lot of times last year, he has been nothing but lights out. He has been fantastic out of the pen, and I hope to be seeing him. I'm pretty sure, and he didn't give up any runs today, but in the last 7 games, or let's just do year to date, because what is it doesn't even matter. Dylan Floro, 14 games, and actually 15 games now, 0 earned runs. 0 earned runs. He has been fantastic. So Dylan Floro, I am a big fan, and I know there's somebody on Twitter, and Dodgers Twitter, which is a huge place to be. If you want to talk Dodgers Twitter is the place to be. There's someone that has the screen name of Dylan Floro's #1 fan, and that was from last year. That's early on. This isn't the first time. This is something that has been since day one. El Carrazo went Verdugo for rookie year's biggest competition is big name sons Tatis Jr. and Guerrero Jr. Now, Vladimir Guerrero Jr. is in the AL, so that he doesn't make a difference there. He's in Toronto, so that's not going to matter for it. Fernando Tatis Jr., that is a big name that is going to be in because he's playing in San Diego. He is going to be somebody for Verdugo to look out for. However, he's injured right now, and we'll see when he comes back how he is, what goes on with there. But for the most part, it's absolutely that is a guy that he should be looking at. Let's see. Grubbing Gunner, Guerrero Jr. is yes, that's exactly what you were saying. Edward Vento, Seager is starting to worry me. What do you think needs to be done for him to find a groove? He just needs to get back into playing shape. He was out for so long. He missed all of last year. He had Tommy John surgery. Then he had a hip surgery. And he didn't really play all that much in spring training. And then now we're in the beginning of the year, and he's just starting to he comes up with a hit here and there. But for the most part, he's not ready yet. I wasn't expecting him to be ready right away. They put him in the 2 spot, the 3 spot, the 4 spot. They're putting him in different spots to really see where he's doing well. And Corey Seager right now just needs a little bit more time. I mean, we can't really start talking about what's wrong with him until we're in like the middle of June, because he was always going to be somebody that was going to take at least 2 months to get back. J9 Mama, CT3, Turner, Barnes contributing makes the Dodgers that much more dangerous. Hopefully Seager gets hot too. You're absolutely right. Now, can we talk about just a little bit about what's going on with the entire team right now? Now, Cody Bellinger has not been hitting all that great since the beginning of May, but over the last 7 games, and not including tonight because they haven't updated that just yet. I mean, I can see if they did, but I doubt that it's come up that quickly. You're having guys that are just like Chris Taylor is batting .450. He came in later in the game and he scored a run after a walk. He's been seeing the ball much better. Justin Turner batting over .400. He's going to be around a 300 hitter. Max Muncy, 3 hits tonight? He's over .400 over the last 7 games, and he's been hitting amazingly with that big 2-run shot too early on in the game. So Muncy been playing well. Austin Barnes really starting to come alive now. And I put this up on Twitter. If you haven't seen it, at Bergman Greg on Twitter, you can see that very much you're seeing Austin Barnes before Russell Martin got hurt. He was batting over .400. .429 obviously was early. That wasn't going to keep going. When Russell Martin went on the DL and he had to play every single day, his numbers dropped considerably. I know Rocky Gale got a start here and there, but his numbers dropped considerably, where he was around 100 over that 17-game stretch when Russell Martin was out. Since Russell Martin has came back, he's back up over 250. He got another hit today, and it was a double. You're just starting to see a better Austin Barnes when he doesn't have to play every single day, and when Russell Martin can spell him every once in a while. He's going to be just fine. He's still got 4 home runs on the year. That's kind of more than you expected him to have here at the beginning of the May. So there's a lot happening there. Let's see. Shane K. Lee, positive adding. Oh, we did that. Grub and Gunner, what's your take on Ryu's Maddox complete game shutout? If healthy, I think he's an ace, especially at home. Yes. Hyun-Jin Ryu is an absolute ace, especially at home, but he can pitch basically anywhere. And how he's been, with the craziest thing about Ryu that's happening right now, especially last night. First of all, last night's complete game shutout was fantastic, and it was the first one since Clayton Kershaw, and I believe it was either in May of 2016 against the Reds, I believe. So May 16th sounds like it's on the top of my head somewhere right around there. But Ryu has been fantastic. He's had more games with having more games with 7+ innings than less this year. It's only been a couple. He had that one where he got a little bit injured when he was only in for like an inning and a half, but he's not giving up very many runs. And guess how many walks he has on the entire year. Hyun-Jin Ryu has 2 walks. That's it. 2. He has been that good. He has been just dominant, where he's going 7 innings, 8 innings, and again, last night, 9 innings. Hyun-Jin Ryu can be a number 1 starter on a lot of teams, and think about it. He's probably a 1, 2, 3, somewhere around there. Thank you. Cheddar, 94. You got it, 2. J9 Mama, you were close, but it's 2. Cheddar got it. Absolutely. 2 walks on the entire year. And if you put him on any other team, yeah, he's probably your number 1 to number 2 starter. And for the most part, he's the 3 behind Kershaw and Buehler. But if you were going to start in a series right now, you probably start him because you should start him. That's how good that he's been. Let's go back over to the ESPN LA Periscope. We have Julian What's 619. What do you think the plans are for Julio? He joins the rotation in October. That's about right, Julian. So it's not going to be maybe September. You want to ramp him up. Do we want him to be in the starting rotation? It really depends on what's happening, because think about it. You have 4 guys that are kind of blocking him, right? Kershaw, Hill, Ryu, and Buehler. Those four guys are going to be your number 1 through 4 starter in the postseason. Now you have Urias to go there if somebody's injured or if you need somebody else. He could move into that, but really you're wanting those 4 guys to be healthy, and then Urias coming out of the pen. And he's probably going to be in the pen all this year because of just that. And he'll come up and he'll have some spot starts here and there depending on how Maeda pitches. He'll get some spot starts. But for the most part, he is going to be in the bullpen. And really, when it gets to September, if there are injuries or you need somebody in that starting rotation because somebody else is not, like Hill's not pitching well or Ryu falls off or whatever it happens to be, Maeda, it doesn't matter, then you'll start seeing him in that starting rotation because he will eventually be a starter. And if it's not this year, it's going to be next year. And I know people are going to start saying, what do you mean Rich Hill? Rich Hill in the postseason has been nothing but nails. He is awesome. So there, again, those are types that I would not ever be upset about. Ryu is an absolute machine right now from Steve-O Tattooed. He really is, right? When are you going to get Ramona Shelburne on Cheddar 94? Ramona is always welcome on. However, I did have her on the Showtime Forum post-game one time already this year. I only ask for favors here and there. Ramona is a very, very busy person, especially during the NBA playoffs. That's a very tough time to get her on, especially to talk Dodgers. So I will have guests here and there. Cole Wright is supposed to join me at some point. The real FRG is supposed to come join me at some point. And also Brooks Smith. He's supposed to me at some point as well, and I will also have other Rick Krajewski will be joining me. He is the stat guy for Joe Davis and Oral Hershiser on the broadcast, so he's going to join me on an away game maybe in 2 weeks on a Wednesday. So absolutely those we will have guests here. It's not just going to be me every time, but for the most part it will be me because that's what I like to do, and you're just going to have to live with it. All right, so sorry about that. Let's see. We got from Matthew Schenk, how good... Oh, we got that one already. Jermaine Armenta, sweep, baby. What a sweep. Turner magically woke up in this series, but I'm glad to see that Turner, us Dodger fans know, on to the Nats now. Yes, on to the Nats now, and that's who we are going to be focusing on now. Now, if I want to see who is pitching in the next upcoming series... we can do that. I didn't get a chance to do that ahead of the time, which I normally do because I want to know who's pitching usually ahead of time. But here, I'll tell you exactly who's scheduled to pitch. Right now, it should be, I believe Maeda pitched on Sunday, so we're looking at Hill tomorrow. Against Patrick Corbin, Maeda on Friday against Anibal Sanchez, Walker Buehler on Saturday against Max Scherzer. Wow, that's going to be a great game on Saturday. That's going to be an interesting one. And Hyun-Jin Ryu again against Steven Strasburg on Sunday. So they're throwing out their power. That is all of the Nationals' power right there in a 4-game set at home. That's going to be a fun series to watch. And the way that the Dodgers are going into this is where you're going to see this again, another NL East opponent. If you can take that series, that's all that really matters. You just got to take that series, and those are the types of things and that moves you forward, and that's what we're hoping for. Mr. Keith LA says, I thought we pronounced Ryu. All right, so yeah, this is a great question. It's a great thought. I don't know the exact correct way to say it. I've gone online and looked up Hyun-Jin Ryu pronunciation. I've listened to him say it. I've listened to Bill Plunkett came on to the Mason Ireland show and he said that it was Rue, and we went with Rue all of last year. But then I heard Kike Hernandez say Ryu, and so you know what? I'm just going with the way that the players say it. And if the players say it Ryu, I'm going with Ryu. And when we get the biggest fan that I know of that is Hyun-Jin Ryu is Rick Krajewski, and if he says it's Ryu, that's who it's going to be. And to that Grub and Gunner, Rick's got sick numbers. He absolutely does. Rick K_21, I believe is what it is. That's the guy that you want to be following for any types of numbers. Those are always great stuff there. D-Dez 1981, Bergman, what's up, man? Grub and Gunner bat drop. Oh, Max Muncy bat drop. Is there a better bat drop than Max Muncy right now? I mean, look, you got guys that are tossing it in the air and doing a full-on bat flip, but just the drop and the spin drop that he has, I love it so much. Max Muncy in his bat drop is the best. When he knows he hit it, it's just a look at me. Yeah, I dropped it. What are you going to do about it? Oh, it's fantastic. Caustic 187, Greg, what are your thoughts on Kenley? I expect him to turn it around, but the blown save was ugly. You know what? The blown save was ugly. I'm not going to even deny that, but let's really put this in perspective, all right? Sorry, my Instagram is getting all messed up. All right, so let's put it in perspective. That was the third game in a row that he was pitching. Pitching 3 days in a row is never positive for any pitcher. I don't care who, relief pitcher. 3 days in a row is too much. I know you wanted to win. I know you wanted to sweep, but to pitch 3 days in a row, That's a problem. He loaded the bases. He gave up two. He got two guys out. You had the Justin Turner ball that he probably misplayed. There was a couple of those misplayed balls that could have been out of the inning. Whatever. He still gave up the jack, and that's the biggest problem. Giving up that home run, especially a grand slam home run to lose, that's a killer right there. However, 3 games in a row. I mean, you're kind of expecting a lower. He didn't give up anything. He gives up a walk or a hit or whatever it is. One guy on, totally fine with that. I think he's going to be just fine. He still has 12 saves on 14, I believe. Yeah, 12 saves on 14 opportunities. He's going to be just fine. I'm okay with it. I think he's going to be good. Although he has lost a little bit, it's somebody to watch. Now, do I think he's going to be fine? Do I think everything's going to work out? Yes. However, I do think that there is somebody to watch. We do have to watch him because that's going to be somebody that's going to be interesting all year long. All right, I saw some of these things, and I kind of understand. I got to understand this. Hold on. But Steve O'Tada says Ireland would take that, but not Greg. He hangs onto his mythical money. Look, I got a huge lead in mythical money. I have $160,000 to Mason's $80,000 and John Ireland's $37,000. Why am I going to make some giant bets and start losing money on playoff games that are very difficult to bet on? Give me $2,000 here, $2,000 there. I'm still betting on every game, but I'm holding on to that lead. I got a gigantic lead. I don't want to lose that in May. Let's figure that out in football season. All right. Let's see. If you're going to sit in the studio until this late, at least show us around some cool stuff or something. Hey, you know what you want to? Go right ahead. And I'm getting texts, but here. You want to see it? Here we go. We're going to go. You want to see some cool stuff? This is as cool as I can possibly get. And here's my Instagram, by the way. You guys can see what I see. That's what's happening there. So if that considers you cool stuff, this is my screen where you can see people talking. I got another one over here where I got stuff going on. And you can see that I have, my Facebook. I got my Alex Verdugo stats out, Pete Alonso, Chris Paddock, Cody Bellinger. I got, the schedule up here, sortable players stats, all these things going on over here. Like this, I got my Twitter, I got my YouTube, which I didn't actually ever turn on. So we can do that all together since we're all doing this at the same time. And then over here we got, look, unmitigated disaster. So you guys can see I'm actually still here. Don't worry about it. But you got the unmitigated disaster here. That's a Chris Morales special because of George Sedano saying that it was an unmitigated disaster what's happening with the Lakers, and he's right. I got all these screens going on here. I got my lights that I turn on to make it so I have the white light without those ones on. Look at all this stuff here. I got the Hello Neighbor, which is a really cool one, and all these different signs that the morning show puts up with the Keyshawn jersey. And my favorite is this, if you can see it, is this Magic Johnson with Dave McMenamin where he's smiling. You have Magic Johnson like sad and quitting the Lakers, and Dave McMenamin's just smiling at it. So good. So there you go. So that's all. We got all this going on. So if you wanted some cool stuff, this is what my studio looks like. And if you look back there, if you can see that microphone way back there, that's my microphone during Mason Ireland. All right. We feel good? Is that you guys feel better now? You happy to see that I am what's going on in my studio here? The studio is mad decked out. Yeah, Ryan Alconville? Yeah, it is. It absolutely is because look, it's ESPN LA. This isn't some rinky-dink station that has nothing. Where this is a nice studio. Like I love, and we can do this all. You know what? Let's just do it this way. With all you guys are here, I might as well. If you bounce around, I'm sorry, but we're gonna try and do this. You can see that I got everything happening here, all the way around, so you can see into the studio. Got everything, got the TVs and all that, and then there's the unmitigated disaster, and into where I sit. There you go. Just so we can, I'm causing some issues here, but this is all happening for us right now. So if you wanted to see what I do in the studio and where I am, that's kind of where everything is. So there you go. Everybody happy? We all see in the studio now. We feel good about everything. All right, fantastic. Joe Cool, 1967. Why isn't Sedano on the Keyshawn show anymore? Because he got his own show in the afternoon. And they have a, like, if you're not happy, Travis is doing a fantastic job in the morning, and you have Keyshawn, LZ, Travis, Chris, Raj, all just killing it in the morning. That is one of the funniest shows on the network, bar none. They just don't care. It's awesome. I'm very, very happy with everything there. You're welcome, Ryan Allen Cavillo. You get to see things that not everybody really gets to see. I got to now move everything around. All right, Shane K. Lee. All right, so here we go. As a Korean, it's hard name to translate to English. All right, Shane, as a Korean, if you can put it phonetically, how I should say it, please tell me, because I do not know how to say Ryu. I'm just saying Ryu for pretty much now, because I think that's just the way. Oh, here we go. Gene_is from a Korean. It should be pronounced Ryu. All right, so I was right. All right, perfect. Ryu. Korean tells me Ryu. That's where I'm going with it. Who the heck? Let's see. I love it better now. All right, cool. What's up, Joe? Joe Cool? Glad you're liking everything now. Gene is kind of wish we didn't pay Kelly so much from such a small sample size of good innings. Here's the thing. 3 years, $25 million is a pretty good deal for Joe Kelly. When we got it, everybody was pretty much happy with that. What you're seeing at the beginning of the year and you're seeing that he's struggling, that's why we're like, oh, 3 years, 25, that doesn't work so well. But I feel like he's going to be better when it gets lower. This was a good outing for him. 11 pitches. He used his changeup to get an 89-mile-per-hour changeup to get an out early on, and then he was using his fastball to change speeds from 99, 100 down to 89 with your changeup to be able to drop 10 to be able to drop 10 miles per hour from fastball to changeup with the same arm angle, the same arm speed and everything. That's huge, and that's going to help him out if he's hitting and he's finding spots, because those pitches were hitting corners too, and he was getting guys out that way. That will help him on later on. And if he's as good as he was in the playoffs against the Dodgers, and when we get to the playoffs, that's all that really matters. Now, this is also a reason why you don't give so much money to people in the bullpen. When you give this much money to the bullpen, you see these types of things happening. It happens all the time. And I'm going to repeat this probably every single show, because we talk about it almost every single show. The guys that you see in the bullpen at the beginning of the year are not the guys you're going to see in the bullpen at the end of the year. Joe Kelly, you're hoping, is going to be there at the end, but you're hoping that Dylan Floro is sticking through there. But a lot of the guys that were not pitching well, you won't see as much. Yimi Garcia, who has actually pitched pretty decently recently, despite the hit batter and the walk, and he gave up, and that hurt them down the in the game that they ended up losing. Those types of things are going to happen, but you're not going to see Yimi Garcia probably in that situation. You're not going to see, you're going to see Scott Alexander should be there, but really for just one batter here and there, even though he loves to give up hits, like a bad hit or a walk. It's just typical. Caustic 187, that dude's velocity is ridiculous. Exactly, and that's why the Dodgers gave him 3 years, $25 million, because Joe Kelly can hit 99 to 100 and sometimes over. That's how it's going to be. We need to take at least 3 from this weekend. Nat's been bad. You have to, but when you're seeing Max Scherzer and Steven Strasburg and Anibal Sanchez, and I forget who the other one that I'm missing is, Patrick Corbin, who those are there's a lot of money between those 4 guys. If you can hit them, that's going to be gigantic. So hopefully we see more of that. Al Carriza 1, what's up, man? Cody getting intentionally walked twice to get to Seager, though. The league is not afraid of Corey. Thoughts? Because they shouldn't be afraid of him just yet. That eventually will come to bite them, though. Getting the intentional walks makes sense because of how great Cody Bellinger has been, but Corey Seager will eventually hit them, and when they do, they're going to stop doing that. Joe Cool 1967, is Cingrani still a Dodger? Yes, he is still a Dodger, and he is in a rehab assignment right now. I saw that he actually, I believe he had a pretty good outing. I forget the stat line. I saw it yesterday, and I can't think of it off the top of my head, but he is still a Dodger. He's still rehabbing, and hopefully he'll be coming back up soon, and then there you go. There's a whole nother lefty to come out of the pen that's supposed to be pretty good. That had been really good when he's healthy. Aki09, his concerned about Bellinger's shoulder. Is that something he'll need surgery for in the offseason? Are you? Am I? Those things types of happen. Sometimes you just have a sore shoulder when you land on it incorrectly. Those types of things are going to, but that's why they moved him directly into the outfield, and that's it. I mean, you're going to still land on your shoulder every once in a while. He rolled on that same shoulder anyway in the outfield in the next game after Dave Roberts announced that he was only playing in the outfield. But it's still going to be, that's going to be a better spot for him overall. J9 Mama, it was like 1 inning pitch, 2 hits, 2 Ks, I think, which is great. Thank you. And appreciate that, J9 Mama. Yes, I think it was something that actually sounds about right, but he should be coming back soon, but he's getting ready. So then if you move him, but also you got to remember, you bring him up, you got to put somebody down, and most likely in the bullpen, and you can't just drop Yimi Garcia into the pen. And Caleb Ferguson's on the 10-day IL, so he's got to come back. So when Cingrani comes back, there's going to be a bunch of movement. If you get rid of Yimi Garcia, you have to completely DFA him, and he's going to be available to anybody else. El Carraz, isn't Milwaukee's season series tied at 4 apiece? They took 3 of 4 here. We took 3 of 4 there. No, actually. El Carraza, it was a 7-game series. It was 2 of 3 here that they took, and we took 3 of 4 there. So that's 4 out of 7, so the Dodgers won the series there. Arlene, DJW, what's up, Arlene? You're always here, and I love it. Some year, I'm coming there for a tour. I'll probably get banned. No, you'll never get banned. I love that you think you will, though. Julian, what 619? Looks amazing. How many hours have you been there today? Oh, man, Julian. So, just so we're aware, I got here today. I had to go pick up something from the doctor's office, so I got here at 9:30. Normally, I'm here at 9 o'clock. But so I have been here since 9:30 today. It is now 11 o'clock, so I have been here over 12 hours. And I will do this every single Wednesday, whether it's a away game or a home game, because I will do this with you guys every single week, because I feel like this is an important, where you guys want to be able to have your voice heard, and I'd like to be that sounding board for you, where I'll be able to talk to you and you'll be able to talk to me. I think it's a great situation for everybody. Edward Vento, American KG, hi, hello. Edward Vento, Pedro went from my least favorite player on the team to one of my favorite relievers. You're not alone in that situation. Pedro Baez I hated him with an absolute and desired passion. Desired passion, is that a thing? Anyway, I hated him with a passion, and he drove me bananas, and he gave up big home runs in the postseason, and we talked about it on these post games all last year. If he was good in the postseason and he could get through well in the postseason, then I would give up on hating on Pedro Baez, and I would never say another bad thing about him. He was fantastic in the postseason, and he's been really good at the beginning of this year too, getting out of that bases loaded jam. Even though he gave up a hit the other day, still, it's fine. I'm still a Pedro Baez fan, and I'm never going to say anything bad about it again until he does something absolutely terrible again. But right now, I love Pedro Baez. I never thought I would say it in my life, ever. But right now, I believe it. Joe Cool 1960, you're the man. I appreciate it, man. That's awesome. That's a long day, sir. You have our thanks. Of course, Caustic. I'm always happy to be here. It doesn't matter to me. I just like being here with you guys. Shane K. Lee sent me a link, and this is how you say Hyunjin's name. It's closer to an L than an R. Ha. So it's Hyunjin Liu. But no, I'm going to say Ryu. I'm going to say Ryu, and that's going to be as close to it as I'm going to get in that situation. J. Razzo 34, I'm happy that Turner is picking up his home runs when Bellinger is not hitting at the moment. Yeah, look, right now he's not, and I believe it has to do a little bit with that shoulder. But, I mean, it's okay, though, because he's going to be on pace for what he's going to be on pace for. He's going to hit around 335, 350 if it's doing really, really well. And he's going to have, 30, 35 home runs, over 100 RBIs. That's kind of what we're looking at for Cody Bellinger, and that's a great year. I'm very happy with that. If you're upset with that because of this gigantic hot start, that's all you can really ask for, and that's the best way for it to go. Chris Camelo 1, C Camelo 1, Baez and Floro are your bridges to Jansen. Urias is a backup closer, a solid choice for now. You're gonna use Urias in situations when Kenley Jansen is not available. Right? So, and that's going to be when he's pitched 2 days in a row, or if he got shelled one day, or whatever happens. But for the most part, Kenley Jansen is your closer, and Urias is only going to be there when he's not available. That's it. That's going to be, and also, I mean, Urias has to be available at the same time as well. So, but you're going to see him pitching 1-2 innings. Urias will when it's in a necessary spot for him. Ross Stripling he's going to be more of that longer reliever. He's not going to be a one out type guy. He's going to be usually a full inning, if not 2 full innings. That's the type of thing you're going to see from Stripling and Urias when you need those longer outings. When guys like maybe Hill gets hit pretty hard and he goes out in the 3rd, 4th inning, or uses a lot of pitches, and you need that longer guy, that's when you would use Urias for a couple innings, Stripling for a couple innings. Those are their roles going forward. Now, I believe that when Kenley is not available, that yes, it will be Urias because of how well he pitched that other day. My local news station sports guy just said, J9 Mama, damn it. He said, damn it? I think that's okay, right? Said the Dodgers are on fire. I live in Giants territory. Oh, yeah, the Dodgers are on fire. Look, you can't deny this. This is 25-14. This is not we're not just looking at some crazy thing. I don't think there's another team in baseball that has 25 wins. No, Tampa Bay, 23 wins. Minnesota, 23 wins. Houston Astros, 22 wins. Phillies, 21 wins. And Bryce Harper getting booed makes me very happy, by the way. Chicago Cubs, 21 wins, who's also playing like the Chicago Cubs again. And we're going to see, that's going to be a team to watch. You watch the Cubs. I thought it was going to happen this way. It's going to happen more here. And then the Dodgers, 25, by far the most. Let's see. Okay, Caesar Anthony, I'm not skipping your question. I'm just not seeing it. What did you ask? Do you want me to go all the way back to see what you said? Oh, look, I'm not even seeing you on here. I'm scrolling. I don't see you, Caesar, so I'm not skipping your question if I don't see it. Think Blue 24/7. Is this the month JT comes clutch in those potential RBI situations? Yes. I think you're about to see, and I believe it, and I think you do too, you're about to see the Justin Turner that everybody is used to seeing. He's at 299. He's about to be over that 300 again. Yes, absolutely. I put it, Caesar Anthony, look, even most Steph 1 says, I'm scrolling too. Nobody's seeing it. Write it again, and I'll read it. Ditto. Booing Harper deserves to be booed. Yes, I love it. I'm a big fan of him being Real FRG. What's up, FRG? I was just saying that you were going to be one of the guys that are going to be joining me on here at some point, whenever you're available. Although I'm only doing Wednesdays, and I know that's your softball day. If you think you can make it here, let me know. Big time starting pitching in this series. Loved a lot from this series. Yes. FRG, you're right. There's been so much that getting a sweep, and we talked about it very early on in the post game, is that sweeping a team like the Braves helps so much. Not just right now. I know they're 25-14, 11 games above 500, but sweeping a team that you're expecting to possibly see in the postseason really helps, because when you get those 3 wins early on, you're going to be able to use that more so. It's gonna help with home field advantage in the playoffs. So getting these early is fantastic. Joey 3 bets. He asked first team to 20 wins World Series. Agree? I mean, the last 3 years, yes, that has been the case. I'm not going to start getting into that crazy mojo that the first team to 20 wins wins the World Series. I hope so. The Dodgers were the first team to 20 wins. Damn right I want that to happen. Do I think that's a real thing? No, baseball's crazy. I don't think that's it. The last 4 seasons that has been, okay, so it was 4 seasons, pontificating PhD, but still, I can't just sit here and say, yep, 20 wins, World Series time, baby. Yeah, it just doesn't work that way. I can't get into that just yet. We hope so, though. We're hoping. That would be great if it was. Grubbing Gunner says, Tampa Bay able to keep it up all year. That's one of those teams that, no, I don't think so either. I don't think it's too early to say. I think that's a team that's going to end up falling off as well, especially with how good the Yankees are and with everybody on the DL. They're all going to come back. The Red Sox are going to figure it out. All right, they're not going to be right at 500 for the rest of the year. They will figure it out. That's an extremely tough division, and I believe they will be one of the teams falling off. We won softball. Hey, there you go, FRG. Congratulations. Are you still just the manager, or do you get to play? Are you what do you play right now? I don't even remember where you play now. Are you a first baseman? Are you a pitcher? Are you the catcher? What do you do? Are you just manager right now? Because I think now that dude's got power. When I look at FRG, I think just straight power in those arms. You let me know. Grubbing Gunner. JT's still the one batter I want with game on the line, most clutch and disciplined. Yes, totally agree with you because of the way that he is at the plate. And especially with 2 strikes. He has been one of the best hitters, if not the best hitter in all of baseball for the last couple of years with 2 strikes on him. That's how often he has been fantastic. The way that he just understands the strike zone, the way that he changes up his swing in those situations. Cody Bellinger is also starting to do that. He was doing it a lot early on, especially in all of April. But right now, it's kind of he's still trying to figure it out again. But Justin Turner is that guy with 2 strikes. He is always going to be able to just change up his swing, be patient at the plate, and find his pitch and just drive it one way or the other. Always the guy I kind of want in that's the guy I want in those situations. Real FRG, I play mostly third base and hashtag in fuego, slugfest all day, day. There you go. See, he's got power. He knows it. Caesar Anthony, when Betts hits free agency, do we sign? Is he worth it? Sure. I think the Red Sox are just going to let him walk? No, absolutely not. So would you sign him? Depends on what you're looking for here. You signed AJ Pollock to, I believe it was 5 years, 60. Is that? Tell me if I'm exact. I can't think of the number right off the top of my head. FRG probably knows it. But you signed him to a long-term deal. Cody Bellinger, you're going to have to sign him to a long-term deal. Alex Verdugo is playing great, and he's going to be in that left field. You still have Jock playing in the left field, right? You're going to have still going to have Jock Peterson, Chris Taylor. There's a lot of guys out there. Would I take Mookie Betts? Absolutely. However, he's going to cost a lot, and you still have to pay a ton of guys. You have to pay Bellinger. You have to pay Seager. You're going to have to pay all. You're going to have to pay Urias at some point. You're going to have to pay Buehler at some point. So those types of big contracts that he's going to demand is difficult to sign. And I know it's the same kind of thing with Harper, where are they worth that much money for that much time? Betts, probably, but where does he fit in? And do you just fit him in because he's that great of a player? It's a good question. Grub and Gunner, Red Sox hungover. I want to experience a World Series hangover. I would be happy with a World Series hangover, but they are having that right now. Our outfield too crowded, and we got guys in the minors. There's plenty of guys in the minors. DJ Peters is in the minors. He's been a little bit off in the minor leagues from the last time I saw it. I looked at it last week. I haven't looked at it in a little bit, but he was batting low 200s, but he's a guy that has a lot of power and could very easily be moving his way up. Andrew Toles is back in extended spring training after taking some time off for personal reasons. Don't know what those personal reasons are, and he doesn't want it to be known, but he is back in extended spring training. So that's another guy that could be coming up. Jace Peterson is another guy that's out there. There's a whole bunch. The outfield is stacked there, and it's stacked in the major leagues. So getting another outfielder is not always. So yeah, 5 years, 60. I was right on. It always makes me happy when I actually get something right off the top of my head, because I forget sometimes. I'm not going to get every number correct. I'm not going to get everything right because there's thousands of different numbers boiling around in my head, and sometimes I just forget them. So don't hate me if I get a number wrong here or there. Joey 3 Bets, how soon before Will Smith gets a call? Look, I don't know. I'm hoping it's sooner rather than later, but what's happening with the catcher position is an interesting one. They have a lot of guys in the minor league system that can come up. Russell Martin's here for the year, and they're going to play him on and off. Austin Barnes is your catcher for this year, and really, we talked about it early on also in this postgame, that Barnes, with Russell Martin on the field, when he's actually healthy, has been good to really good. His numbers are, before he got injured, was over 400, and now he's back over 250, probably around 275 now after a couple hits today. So he's starting to hit the ball. He's so patient, and there's so much. I can't say enough about Austin Barnes, and this is how I want to go about it. He's your 8th hitter in the lineup, and I know we would love to get so much more out of that spot, but he's a good defender he's very much a plus defender, and if he's going to bat around 275 for the year and get you 5 to 10 home runs, 10, 15 home runs, which I know that's saying a lot, but if you can get you somewhere around there, drive some balls, take a lot of pitches. He takes around 6 to 9 pitches per at bat on a regular basis. He walks a good amount of time, and a lot of times that's right before the pitcher spot comes up. You have that 8th spot with 2 outs. Barnes making the pitcher work so often, building up that pitch count early in the game. That's a huge thing to happen in that 8th spot. Plus, if he walks, then you get the pitcher spot out of the way, and you start the next inning with your one batter, your leadoff batter, opposed to the pitching spot. So you have basically an automatic out at the beginning of the inning. You have the leadoff guy that's not an automatic out. So that 8th spot, and with the way that Barnes goes about it and how patient he is, I know he struck out today with after starting off 3-0, but he took the pitches, and these are the types of things that you kind of want to happen, especially for that spot. So honestly, look, Austin Barnes is my guy for this year, and I've said it over and over again, and I believe it, and I think this is the guy that I want, that I got to stick with it. I can't just go off of it because he had a rough month of April in the middle of the month without the secondary the backup catcher, but Austin Barnes is the guy. That's the guy that I want back there right now. Will Smith has been playing very well in AAA, but you also have Diego Cartaya, who's from Venezuela, who's a couple years away. Keibert Ruiz isn't hitting all that well, but he's a guy that is supposed to be right there, right on track. He's supposed to be ready for another year, maybe next year. You also have Connor Wong, who's another catcher, who's also supposed to be another good catcher for this team. There's a lot of catching prospects, so you can start moving guys if once it gets closer to the trade deadline for what you want. It's of those four guys, who do you think are going to be the right one moving forward? Who's going to be your catcher of the future? And once they figure that out, they can move some of the other ones. And if Will Smith is playing great and they will need to move him and they can get something good out of that, I'm okay with that. Joe Cool, 1967. How is the Carrot Top lookalike pitcher doing in the minors? You're talking about Dustin May. I haven't looked at his recently, but the last I saw, he was killing it. I know him. I know Mitchell White has been pitching really well. He had I believe, a complete game shutout, or he was around 7 or 8 innings with only 1 hit. He's pitching really, really well. This minor league system is fantastic, the Dodgers have, and they are going to have a very long sustained future because of how good this minor league system is, and all of that, if not most of it, is on Andrew Friedman and this front office. So we have to believe in them. Oh, there's that new catcher. That's right. Travis d'Arnaud came over across as well. Travis d'Arnaud, just so we understand a little bit about him, he has been injured for most of his career with the Mets. He has had, when he was playing and healthy with the Mets, he was great. He actually had a really good bat. He was a plus defender. He was really good, but he got injured a lot and he missed a lot of time. He's not really hitting right now. There's a lot of things. But when he plays and he's actually healthy, fully healthy, he's a good bat, and so having him there will be helpful. Chris Camelo 1. May, Gonsolin, White could be late season call-ups if own struggles. Yes, Tony Gonsolin has been nasty, and he was nasty in spring training too. Gonsolin, Mitchell White, and Dustin May, those are all really good pickups that could be coming up later on in the year. Jay Razzo 34, good night, Bergman, great job. I'll see you next Wednesday. Appreciate it, Jay Razzo. See you then. Bougie Butera, what about Travis, the new catcher from Mets that we got? Travis d'Arnaud, we just talked about him a little bit. Steven So 8, Will Smith's walk-up song should be getting jiggy with it. Well, I mean, of course, or anything along the lines. Any Will Smith song works. I mean, is that too obvious, though? I feel like that's too obvious. Trade them all. Well, you're not going to trade all of them. Let's see. Steven Alvarez. Real FRG. Dustin May, 2-2, 3.25 ERA, and 27 2/3 inning pitch, 33 Ks. AA Tulsa. I think that's a pretty good stat line right there. And AA is where you want, is where your pitchers usually are, right? AAA is more for the hitters because the pitching isn't usually all that strong. AA is where you usually set up your pitchers. But so Dustin May, that's a 2-2, 3.25 ERA, 27 and with 33 Ks. Pretty damn good to me. I mean, that's you want that ERA to drop a little bit, but he's also not totally ready yet. We all want him to be ready, but also, let's think about that for a second. You have guys in that are right now. Look, your starting rotation is so set with even with or without injury. Clayton Kershaw, who is still one of the better pitchers in all the game. I don't care what anybody says. I don't care that I know that his velocity is down, but he's pitching to he is a pitcher where he's hitting his spots. He's touching the corners. He's becoming more of a Greg Maddux type. I love Clayton Kershaw. Walker Buehler is a star of this team. He's going to be much, much better. He's been really good outside of the 6th inning recently where he starts falling off. It's usually that third time through the lineup that he's getting hit a little bit right now, but he'll shore that up. Rich Hill in the playoffs has been magnificent, and he's been good this year too. And we're gonna see him again tomorrow. But when he starts, look, he gave up a little bit early on, but he only got charged for 1 run. Rich Hill is a good, strong pitcher that you need in those situations. I love Rich Hill, and I just love watching him. I love watching him bat. I love watching him with the grunt that he has every time he throws a pitch. It's really fun to watch. And then Hyun-Jin Ryu, by the way, fantastic. We talk about him already so much, but Hyun-Jin Ryu is one of the best pitchers in all of baseball for the last 2 years. And really, whenever he's been healthy, he missed basically 2 years because of his injury. And now he's back and he's pitching just like he was when he first got here. And it was like 2012. He has been so good in the playoffs, in the regular season. He doesn't walk guys. He strikes guys out. He goes deep into games. He had a Maddux last night where he went 9 innings with 93 pitches. Those are the types of things you're going to see out of Hyun-Jin Ryu. So, and then Kenta Maeda is a very solid 5th starter where he's going to be good some games. And every once in a while, he's not going to be the best, but he's going to be good most games. And if he really struggles, you move him back to the pen. You bring Ross Stripling back, who could be a very good starter. You can bring Julio Urias back in. There's so many different options for you to bring into this. And going back into the minor leagues, Dennis Santana can be a starter. Caleb Ferguson was a starter. We were talking about Tony Gonsolin, Dustin May, Mitchell White. Mitchell White is just about ready. I would have to think, and I think FRG would agree with me there. I think he's just about ready. So all of these things, the pitching staff is fantastic, and is just some of these guys are going to take some time, and they should wait. And I'm totally fine with giving them time. Just not there. At Ryan Alcavilla, are you going to go to the LAFC on Saturday? No, I'm going to go to LAFC on May 24th, which is a Friday, for Pride Night, because Steve Mason is going to be the Falconer of that game, and I want to go on and go there. All right, I'm actually in my 2-minute warning. I didn't even realize. I got about a minute and a half here, so I'm going to go one question from each spot as fast as I can, and then we're going to go, and then I'm going to be back here next Wednesday against San Diego. Grub and Gunner dash bullpen flamethrower not named gas can Joe. I'm okay with what's happening. Is Mason going to sing the national anthem anytime soon? Maybe. I don't know. That's up to him. Steven So, do you think Rio will get a longer deal after the season? You know what? I hope so. He's on that 1 year, 17.9 qualifying offer. If he continues to pitch this way, then yes, I do think that he will get that, because he's been so good. You have to keep him here in LA. Read my first question. I don't have time for it. I'm sorry about that. Are you going to... So I got, about that Rich Hill for president, Mo Steph, like that. Joey Betts says trade LeBron. By the way, no, I'm not trading LeBron, and I know this is the last thing here, but I'm not trading LeBron, because then the front office looks even worse than that. All right, I just got about 30 seconds left. Cassandra Gutierrez says hi. Sorry you missed that. All right. With my last 25 seconds, I want to say thank you very much for being here on the Blue Review. I appreciate you being here every single Wednesday with me, and I'm going to continue to be here every single Wednesday with you. Away game, home game, I don't care. So thank you very much for being here. I'll be back here next Wednesday against San Diego, and that's going to do it for me. So thank you very much. I'm out of here. Have a great night. See ya.